being that it's, our second Super Bowl in 3 years, and I think the most important game in everybody's career. This really, I think, sets the tone. Now, can you sustain it? I mean, who knows? We got to win the game, and Carolina's doing everything they can to go out and try to knock the crap out of us. So, we still got 5 days before we play, and I think a lot of it's going to be well spent, and it's going to be a tough battle. So.
Tell the story about how you were invited to the stadium.
I still don't really know that story. Well, let's see. I was out there on Saturday, and Mr. Kraft had come up to me, and he said, he says, what are you doing on Tuesday? I said, hopefully, getting ready to play the Carolina. And he says, well, if you're not doing anything, and assuming we win the game, the president wants you down at the State of the Union. I said, what are you talking about? Which president? He said, our president, George Bush. And I said, oh. And I said, well, how did, and after that, I was kind of like, well, yeah, sure, I'll go. And I kind of went home, and it was, went back the next day, and after the game, he came up to me and he said, well, you still plan on going Tuesday night? I said, wouldn't miss it for the world. So that's kind of how it came about. What did he say? My dad's got a big mouth.
He said you've got someone special in your life.
I think when you're dating someone, they're always special.
That's what it is.
Yeah.
So who are you dating?
That's probably what he said. Who am I dating? No one this week. I'm dating the training room. That's where all my time is being spent.
Are you afraid of breaking hearts around New England if you reveal this stuff?
I don't think it's that important.
You know what women think then.
I guess not. I did have 3 sisters, but I guess I got to go back to Girl 101 or something. A lot of times for a professional athlete, and speaking for myself, you want to be a great quarterback, and I aspire for great things on the football field. But along with that success comes a lot of other stuff, and there's such a fine line there between, being successful on the field and then getting a lot of the attention off the field.
To see what he's done this year, to lead 7 or 8 last drive comebacks, this guy's been tremendous. He's so calm, he's so cool under pressure. Trust me, we're not taking him for granted. We played against Steve McNair, Peyton Manning, but this guy doesn't have the numbers or the credentials that those guys have, but he's a winner, and he's been winning ball games.
Now, you out-schemed the big-name guys. Is there something that you can do just to get in his head and take him out of his... that's obviously what you want to do, I guess.
I wouldn't say we out-schemed him. I thought we made more plays than him. And eventually, whoever makes the most plays, that's what it comes down to. You can scheme, you can try to disguise, but it all comes down to being physical and making who makes the most plays. And I think we made more plays. It's not about scheming, because those guys have seen a number of different looks. And we basically just out-hit Indianapolis, and we just made more plays in Tennessee. 2 great teams.
It's been a lot of guys on our team. Ted Washington, he's been in the league 14, 13 years. He's never been to the Super Bowl. Roman Pfeiffer, before he got here, he's been in the league 12 years, 11 years, never got to the playoffs. So younger guys that get here early in their career don't realize how hard it is and the hard work and how long it takes. And there's no guarantee you're ever going to get back. So for us, to get back 2 years later, after not even going to the playoffs last year, it's definitely a blessing.
A young guy can say, I have years ahead of me to get back.
Yeah.
You don't know how many.
You really don't. You really don't. And some of the guys like Richard Seymour, who came in his first year and went to the Super Bowl and won, is definitely like, it's such a great feeling. And, we've had guys like Lawyer Malloy, when he came in as a rookie, went and lost it. So we've been on both ends of the spectrum before.
Well, you got to try to find talent however you can find it, and you got 32 teams in the league, all basically looking at the same pool of players, the draft eligible players, then the NFL players who have experience in the league but are released, and you're just trying to sort through them and find somebody. I think in Joe's case, it's just a good fit for us. He's the type of player that we were looking for. Maybe his style or techniques or whatever weren't quite right for another team, but they were certainly right for us. And he's done a terrific job for us. But Scott Pioli and the whole scouting department have done a great job of as we say, not just acquiring talent, but building a team. And that's really what the business is that we're in.
Well, I mean, you pretty much, like, you've been there the first time, you get there the second time, and it's pretty much the same, you know, every time you come down. I mean, you know what's at stake. Unfortunately, I was unfortunate enough to be on the losing end before, so I know that you don't want to come down here and lose the football game. It's all about winning. When you get to this point, you want to finish it out, and you have the two best teams standing right now, and hopefully we can be the last team standing.
You were the underdog the first time, and the Rams, I don't know, I think I heard you say that they didn't take you seriously. And do you have to be careful you don't do that to the Panthers?
You always have to be careful of that, but we take every team seriously, and this is not the type of team that disrespects anybody. I mean, we know on any given Sunday anything can happen. We've been the underdogs for so long, we don't even know how to act if we're favored. So, I mean, we always take the same approach to each and every game. Oh, I mean, he's an incredible run after catch guy. I mean, he can make a 5-yard play and turn it into a 50-yard touchdown. So, I mean, when you're covering a guy like Steve Smith, you want to have to be on him tight. You can't let him get out into the open field, or he's going to make people miss. He's a strong runner. He's a punt returner. So the point is, try not to let him get the ball in his hands, and when he does, because he's such a great player, you just have to corral him and everyone run to the ball and tackle him.
I got you, wedding. It's a wedding band. You know what, that one, man, you get in trouble. That's the first thing your wife look for when she see you on the interview.
Can you show it, please?
Yeah, of course. You can show it. That's the first thing she look for. Oh, baby, you wasn't wearing your ring. I'm in trouble.
You know that, right?
You know that. You know that.
Ring on.
You know how that works, man. Yeah. The only reason I ever went out to play because, you know, some of my classmates, some of my friends was daring me to come out there on the football field. It was like, if you come out there, you know, we'll bust you up. And I was like, if I come out there, I'll be the best player that you have. And it just so happened I came out there, got a scholarship out of school to go to the University of Auburn. Never went. Stayed home to take care of my grandparents for 3 years. When my grandmother passed away in '93, went to school because that was a dream of hers for me to go to school. That was like the last thing I always remember her telling me was, ain't nothing in those streets for you. Well, go to school and get an education. So for me, that was what she wanted for me, and that's what I want to do, go to school so I can fulfill the dream that she had for me.
The team that executes and plays better is the team that's going to win. I think both teams have a great defense. It's going to make it tough on both offenses, but, you know, turnover free, penalty free, that type of thing. And you never know. It might come down to a kicker at the end.